Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So it's wrap up time again, and this one's probably going to be fairly short because only one of the books that I finished this month I did not finish during the booktubeathon. So if you want to hear more detailed explanations of these books or more of my thoughts on these books, you can check out my booktubeathon wrap up if you have not seen that already. So I'm going to go ahead and start with those books since they'll be kind of quick. The first one was Freud, graphic novel, biography. This was weird. Again, I say I'm not a psychology major, or like it's not one of those things that I just read about because I think it's interesting. I got this for my fiance when I was in New York as just like a haha present, and it was interesting but a little weird. The next one is the Clockwork Prince, and I really enjoyed this. I didn't enjoy it as much as the first one. I thought that this one was sort of boring and not a whole lot of exciting stuff happened, but I am looking forward to reading the last one in the trilogy so that I can finish this up and get it off my TBR shelf. But I have enjoyed this. I probably won't read any more of the sort of like this family of books. I have no interest in the City of Bones series. It's way too long, and I just like the setting of this one versus the setting of that one. So I probably will not be continuing on with Cassandra Clare books after this trilogy. And the next one is The Wilds. This is a creepy, sort of dark collection of short stories. I really enjoyed this. The writing is beautiful. Like I said in my booktubeathon wrap up, some of them I felt like probably would have worked if they'd been a little longer because the ending felt abrupt, and I feel that way a lot of times about short stories, but some of these especially felt like it just ended and there should have at least been another page or another sentence or another paragraph. Some of them it worked with, but yeah, it's very interesting and very well written collection of disturbing short stories. And the last one that I finished up in the booktubeathon that I do not have with me because I read it or listened to it as an audiobook was Before I Go to Sleep by S.J. Watson, and I loved that book. I have talked about it pretty much in every video since my booktubeathon wrap up because it was just so good, and it was one of those books that I didn't want to stop listening to it. I didn't want to put it down. I wanted to finish it really fast because I wanted to know what was happening. It was really well written, and it was disorienting and just one of those where it's like you have an unreliable narrator because of her illness, and it makes you question what she's remembering. It makes you question the people around her, and it was just so fascinating. It was just like a really fascinating journey to go through with this character in this book, and the ending was fantastic, and it was just so good. And the last book in my wrap-up is the only one that I finished that was not a booktubeathon finish, which was The Fox by Sherwood Smith, and I have been reading this for months, I'm pretty sure. I don't know exactly when I started it, but it was quite a while ago because I know that Patty was going to BEA, and I think that was in May, and it's August, so it's been a while. I definitely enjoyed this one more than Enda. I thought that it was easier to get through as far as the characters were more cohesive, and yes, there was basically 2 new sets of characters introduced, but those new sets of characters don't have 5 names, they just have the one, so that was helpful. But I really enjoyed this. My one thing with this series is I feel like both books so far could have been split into 2, and I know it would make it like an 8-book series if it split all the books into 2, but it just felt like the first half and the second half were 2 totally different books. And I'm hesitant to start the next one because I know that it's going to be a long read for me. And while I really want to know what happens to Enda and the rest of the characters and how this is all going to pan out, because it is a really fantastic fantasy arc, I just don't know that I want to commit the time and the mental energy to starting the next one right now. I don't know. I can't decide. I am attached to the characters though. So that is my very short wrap up. I pretty much just read all my books at the beginning of the month. I am in the middle of 2 books right now, one of which I've been reading most of the month, and that is The Golem and the Genie, and I am loving that, and I cannot wait to talk about it in my September wrap up because I have a feeling it's going to be one of my favorites. And the other book that I'm reading is I started the final book in the Pink Carnation series, which is The Lure of the Moonflower, and it's bittersweet because I love that series, so I'm not I don't want it to end, but at the same time, I'm sure it's gonna be a spectacular ending. And then, you know, I can start them all from the beginning if I really want to, because they're just such fun reads. So that's pretty much my month's worth of reading. I hope that you guys are having a wonderful day, and I would love to hear what you guys read or what you're currently reading, or if you have any recommendations. So I will see you guys next time. Bye!